It's MLP Dota and John X5. John, we just came off a very fun series between TNC and Neon. We're back to Team Dog vs Motivate. Should be a bit more of a serious series, I would argue, as both teams do still have something to play for, and that is the standings within the groups for the playoffs. So how are you feeling?
I'm feeling great, Mike. It's been a bit of a longer day, but we've had some really good matchups here. Fortunately, we have some monster energy to power us through. Our
Thank
sponsors,
goodness.
just really keeping us up throughout these long days. Should be a fun one, as you mentioned. There is still a chance for either side to climb up here. It's going to be important to start hammering those wins, particularly for Team Dog. Much more important for them to, if they want to have a scratch at it, to go up. We'll have to see how it does unfold. MG.Trust, they've been up and down. The lineup has sort of felt tested, right? Like they got gutted, basically. They lost two of their players. They've got Savage in. I'm not sure if this is still Death or if this is back to Nevermore or Nevermind. I'm not entirely sure because his name keeps changing. I am assuming that is Death because the LFT kind of looks the same as what Death had. So looks like we do have Death back on hand.
You just gave me a real flashback. Wasn't Nevermore the name of SF in Dota 1?
Yep.
Yes, it was.
Yeah, it always throws me off when I saw Nevermind. I was like, oh god, I'm gonna keep thinking of Nevermore.
Such a... Yeah, I mean, it's a bit off topic, but wasn't the SF spell animations were better in Dota 1, I want to say. I always felt like the Raze animation was quicker in Dota 1 than it was in Dota 2, don't you think?
It had a snap to it.
It did have a snap.
It did. I mean, the one thing I miss from Dota 1, honestly, remember when PA Blur legitimately made PA disappear?
Yeah, she went invis.
Not even like, it's not even like the smoke effect that kind of replicates it now. She would literally just be gone. Like, so you couldn't even target her if you weren't smart about it. So,
oh, that was so stupid.
Boomer Dota, as chat calls it, Boomer Dota, Mike.
Oh, we were young once, John. We were young. We were there when it all started. Kids these days, they have no idea with their mobile phones and all their flashy computers. You know, we had to struggle in Dota 1. You know, we had to find servers. We had to get vouched to get into servers. It was tough back then.
Oh man, you make me think back of Garena. You know, like those rooms where you had to have a rank. You go in, you flame the host for not tunneling. Those were the days. Did you ever tunnel, Mike? I'm sure you must have known how to tunnel, right?
Oh, don't
Using Garena?
It was such a long time ago. I don't even remember anymore. It was some fun memories, though, of Dota 1. Anyway, we'll go into the draft. We're in Dota 2 now, John. And, you know, maybe Dota 3, depending on how big the patch is in the next couple of days. Still Team Dog. They go for the Clockwork Bloodseeker opening. Motivate.Trust. They will go into the Lina Pangolier. Two very different kind of openings being brought out here. Very flexible on both sides of the coin. I don't really see any really kind of stable lanes as of yet from these two. They are very flexible. So we are going to have to wait till the next pick phase to really see what these drafts are going to look like.
Yeah, I'd say there's a high likelihood for Team Dog to lock in the Ice Bloodseeker with that pickup. We have seen him play this here a couple of times. Ice does have the solid combo with the Clockwork. Cogs into Bloodright is always nice to have, really devastating in the right spot. And of course, you do have the Rupture to deal with the Pangolier Rolling Thunder. So really solid pick for Team Dog overall. Motivate.Trust for their part. Lina Pango, even though you have the Bloodseeker counteract the Pango, you do still have really solid synergy with these two heroes. You've got a good stun on the Lina. You've got a great frontliner to set up some team fights for you on the Pangolier. We'll have to see just how much, more than likely, Death is going to be bringing out with the Pangolier here, and whether or not he can harass out the safe lane. Of course, just having a Pango means that these physical damage carries in the safe lane don't necessarily have a good time. Once you have that lucky shot, the disarm is just really annoying to deal with, and that can be a factor for Team Dog's pickup in the safe lane. So they've got to watch for that. Love the respect bands coming through here, Mike. Morphling being taken out by Team Dog, so they understand. Savage loves the hero, of course, just not allowing it through. And you can see MG.Trust as well, paying a lot of respect towards Abed. They ban the Kunkka, and they also ban the Storm Spirit, which he's known for. So just a lot of steady back and forth bans between both teams as well.
Absolutely. Final ban is yet to come, however, Team Dog. They've been focusing on those position 1s for the side of Motivate. Of course, they are getting rid of all the Savage heroes, the Morphling, Lifestealer. What else? I'll get rid of the Void just in case he was thinking about that. Now into the 3rd pick for Team Dog. It's been a very good day, John.
10 seconds.
It's been a good
It
day.
has.
Good day
Been a
of groups,
great
I
day
think.
for Dota.
Last day
Yeah.
of groups, you know, just... Do you think, because we've got one day break before playoffs, right? There is one day where nothing's going to happen, and that's tomorrow. Is that the day the patch comes out?
Well, that would be smack in the middle of December. That's like the 15th. Could be. And if it is no better time, of course, that would be like a serendipitous change because tomorrow's was kind of given us an off day in case of rescheds. So it's not like they could have planned around it. Not that I think Valve would plan around it, but would be perfect timing if they are watching. Drop that patch right then. Shake up our playoffs would be fun. We'll see. Deadlines and Valve don't necessarily mix, Mike. They've already missed once. I know. You know, I keep my expectations loose, so I'm pleasantly surprised when something comes out. Still, Team Dog, a pleasant surprise for them. Grimstroke comes out here, so another way of piercing through the Pangalier's Rolling Thunder. And you've got this double Rupture coming through the Soulbind, so a lot of value here for Team Dog in just getting that done. Does lock you into the Clockwork Grimstroke support duo, which is fairly active. You can play pretty quickly with that. I don't think Team Dog's in mind too much. Fairly solid for them. BT.Trust, though, seeing that there's a bit of a lack of hard lockdown beyond the Grimstroke Silence, you have a lot of leeway to make this Ember Spirit work. Doesn't care too much for the Rupture. Can kind of just zip around as he wishes. So BT.Trust do kind of set themselves up well here, taking that Fearless Hero early. He does deliver on the Ember Spirit when he does play it, so it's a safe pickup for them. And BT.Trust do get to keep one very important aspect as well, Mike. They're all red. So they're tying it up with that red draft.
That is very important, of course. Red is generally a very nice color to go for, and it's good to see that they are... In fact, everyone is kind of red on the on both drafts. Batrider will come out now for Team Dog. Very nice pick up there. I believe that should be in the mid lane for Arbed. Could obviously be in the off lane as well for Ice. But I imagine Ice will want to play the Bloodseeker, so that should be the Arbit here in the mid lane. And that should make the life of the Ember kind of difficult as well, right? Like, you're not going to enjoy going into the Batrider. You do have the Flame Guard, but that only does so much. And, I mean, the Firefly with sticky napalm damage generally goes through the Flame Guard pretty darn quick.
That it does. You've also got this great synergy for Team Dog. So many Soulbind combinations here. Double Lasso, double Rupture. Lots of ways of playing with your cogs here as well. BT.Trust sneakily pick up the PL, so you don't have the best of ways to clear out those illusions. I suppose Stroke of Fate is nice from the Grimstroke, but it can be hard to find a proper Rupture. It can be hard to find a proper Lasso against a PL. So without that instantaneous lockdown, a lot of room here for Savage to jump in and out. And we were talking about Savage specials, and the Morphling Phantom Lancer is one of his specials as well. Right? We might not see it as often, but this is something he does play in the Bleeding Edge and is quite comfy with. So we'll see that what he does pull out with this. I am disappointed to say that this does break out our red team, though. So BT.Trust have broken that streak here.
That's going to be a big problem, I imagine, in this game one. But we'll see if Motivate can recover from this fashion dilemma that they've run into now. Of course, the PO is one of the old 23 Savage specials, I would argue. One of the heroes we used to see him play a lot back when we first started casting 23 Savage. So, looking forward to seeing that all over again. But you did kind of point out the fact that they do have a bit of wave clear in the Grimstroke and Batrider, and that might prove to be an issue. Of course, even with the Bloodseeker, you have the Bloodright, which is also somewhat problematic here for Savage. We'll see how he does intend to deal with it. Well, Team Dog now, they know exactly what they're running into with the POS 1 of Motivate, so it's going to be a matter of what they want to go into now to counter that out. A lot of position 1s have already been banned out, and I do wonder what they do want to give over in your dream to deal with this PL?
Yeah. We do have a couple of options there. Sven is gone, but perhaps you just go for something that gives you some decent time against illusions. Doesn't care too much for the potential mana burn. That's the bigger part. Like there's a lot of burn that the PL can bring once the Fusel Blade's up. I know it, and it has to be something that can kind of hold it down. Sven would have been really nice if it wasn't banned first. Maybe a Jug. That can be a bit wonky back and forth.
Thank you to Team Dog for banning out CK, by the way. We didn't need any more illusions. Thank you very much for that, Team Dog. I think we can all send our gratitude out for that ban. Motivate.Trust. How do you want to finish this one off? They'll go for the Tidehunter. Old special. Just going back to the old Masteros days, I suppose.
Yeah.
Have a bit of a fun time with that.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. So we're looking at a Pango 4, a Lina 5, perhaps. It's fine, a bit greedy, and Team Dog do go with the Ursa. So that's something else that can probably buy Battle Fury. Deal with PL that way. Doesn't care too much about the mana burn. So you do have a lot of leeway here for In Your Dream to just go in and out. Would be kind of an interesting lane against a Tidehunter. I think that is going to have some back and forth there within your dreams. So you're going to have to watch yourself if you're IYD. Overall, a rather straightforward draft from both sides. Nothing too crazy coming out here. The only wacky thing for BTS is running the Lina Pangolier support duo. So it looks like Boombell on the 5 Pangolier, Q on the 4 Lina might be the name of the game here. Let's see how much they can maximize these supports. If they can get enough space to get big. Team Dog. Lots of emphasis on perhaps using their Grimstroke combinations. Double Rupture, Double Lasso is something you'd want to see here from Team Dog, as they do lack AoE control beyond that. Apart from that, straightforward farm timings here. We've seen Ice deliver in the Bloodseeker before. And of course, Abid in the Batrider. He's played that across, what, like 2-3 tournaments now? BTS Pro Series Season 3, Dota Summit 13. It's one of the pickups that you do tend to ban out against Abid. That's slightly true. So Fearless has his work cut out for him. You mentioned it, but that spell shield is not going to hold up too long if there are enough stacks of napalm there.
We'll move into a game 1 of this best of 2 series between Team Dog and of course Motivate.Trust. He's got the dad bod cosmetic as well.
Everyone's got it. Jeez.
There you go. Truly in the name of Masteros, they bring it out again.
Oh, man.
I'd have it no other way, John.
Yep. Just a callback. We'll see how much they can get done. Death has big shoes to fill. We know what we expect from a Masteros Tide. So that's got to show us some numbers close to that. We'll see if he can deliver. He has had a really good performance since he's been on. Again, we were expecting Nevermind, but he hasn't been on in a couple of days. Could be that they are standing in Death now. Yeah,
I'd say Death has been doing pretty well from what we've seen. Definitely wouldn't necessarily say an improvement quite yet. We haven't seen enough of him at the moment, but he definitely has been performing very well. So we do see Arfu running down Boombell on the Pangolier, but of course Boombell going to be able to just swashbuckle away from the battery assault. It's like Death is going to roam in as well, just make sure everything's okay. I doubt that they'll try to contest the bounties down at that bot rune spot. They'll just go for the top bounty runes on Team Dog. BTS will do the same down at the bot rune spots. We'll see if they go for a bit of a scuffle, but I highly doubt it. There's really no point here.
No. Could run into trouble. Level 1 Gushes on Death, along with the LSA, and along with that early Blightstone, can really cause issues in the lane, so not going to take the risk. Savage.
Savage.
Ice with a sad face.
Oh, boy. I mean, he's playing on Motivate.Trust right now. I don't know if he should be saying stuff like that, but...
I mean, he is just filling. He is, right? Like he is still officially filling. So it's not like he's officially fully in the roster. He's just kind of standing in as they find replacements
Well,
after that whole roster shakeup.
Arteezy's going to have to be careful, John. Savage is out for his job.
Yeah, we'll have to watch how that goes. Still the lane for Savage, starting solo first. So it looks like the trialing down bot. MG.Trust love to do this. Doesn't look like they've got the opportunity yet for first blood, but again, you've got Gush level 1, you've got Blightstone, and Boombell just leaves.
This Blood Right is going to be quite annoying for Savage. As he does avoid it for now. He does go for the very early point in the Doppelganger. And that'll allow him to make sure he can at least juke that out. Spoonbell's going to come in and try to harass out Paulison a little bit. Ice is just going to continue spamming out the Blood Right over and over again because that's what Bloodseeker does right now. And, yeah, it is going to be pretty hard for Savage to maintain himself as the levels do go up. He's going to run out of a lot of regen. Meanwhile, the bot lane are Phil and In Your Dream going to be up against Death and Q. This shouldn't be a lane that In Your Dream suffers with too much. Like, maybe the laner gets a little bit annoying, but once you've got a couple levels up, I think you should be able to deal with this duo that's come out from Motivate.Trust. Especially if Fu can make the jump onto Q and kind of get him away from Death. You can really start to stack up the Fury swipes, although mid lane, but going onto Fearless very early on and will get the kill. He will die to the tower, and Q will be around to soak the XP. But Arbit able to get the first blood straight off the bat.
It's really big for a Batrider. We talked about this, but the mid lane's not going to be easy for Fearless. He does melt down to the damage of our Batrider, and that's just set to escalate as the game goes on. Abed now level 3 as well. He's going to be able to spam level 2 napalms out, and that's just going to make it that much harder for Fearless. Of course, Fearless this time around opts for early boots, bypassing the early bottle pickup. Opted for just a little bit more survival, and because Abed also went for early boots, he just needs something to help him at least increase the gap between him and the Batrider. Of course, should help out in taking some of
Fearless.
Oh no.
Yeah, he's dead. Fearless. Underestimating how much sticky napalm he was taking. In Your Dream, meanwhile, bot lane was taking quite a bit of damage, but it's going to be fine. But this mid lane, it's going to be a bit of a whitewash if that keeps up. Arbed can pretty much do that every single time Firefly's off cooldown.
Yeah, Fearless has got to be a little bit more careful in that lane. He's forced to walk back now as well, so he's going to miss out on a couple of waves. Boombelt's there to soak up, but this is not the ideal situation. Abed now, level 4, probably going to hit 5 in a relatively short manner as well. Means that he's just got control. He's going to be clearing out camps well. There needs to be some relief from MG.Trust, but again, their supports are not in any space to really get those rotations out so far. And overall, MG.Trust, despite finding at least one counter kill on Abed from the tower, still going to be set back a bit. They are finding some decent gold though, but that does end up going to the way of Team Dog as well. So they need to at least get one lane going. I think they have to focus on giving Savage a good start. Even that isn't really lined up. Like, he's not falling behind, but Savage isn't top of last hits. He's down by a couple of creeps. That does mean Ice is actually getting his job done in the off lane.
Yeah, I mean, it's not too hard of a job for Ice on this Bloodseeker for sure. I was just having a look back at the mid lane. I mean, Arbed just really not allowing Fearless to even go near the creeps. He does now, but Arbed's going to bottle up a double damage. And that's going to make life that much harder up until Fearless does hit that level 6 mark. It's an extremely hard time for him. In fact, he's going to rotate into the jungle and try to start taking neutral camps instead. But the Flame Guard has worn off, so he doesn't really have that option available to him. Meanwhile, top lane, Boombell is going to drop low on Ice. Looks like he wants to go for the dive. He will not be able to finish off the kill. Boombell will be able to salve up on the Pangolier. This top lane, I mean, you already talked about it, but it's not going to get much easier for Motivate, but they are going to try to go on to Team Dog. In fact, Fearless is going to join in now, so Ice will go down. Paulison is kind of a sitting duck now on Savage. Will be able to take that kill for himself. I think I cursed them, John. It's a nice rotation out.
It's a heads-up rotation from Fearless, exactly what he needed after that slow start in lane. It's not enough to compensate for the slow laning start though, Mike. Level 4 in Fearless, about to hit 5. But look at Abed, level 6 already, has a double damage rune, pocketing his skill points as well. Looking if he can just play greedy without having to go for the lasso. Still has complete control in the lane. They are making moves bot.
In Your Dream, gonna be in trouble. Death actually falling low himself. In Your Dream, however, gonna be the first one to drop. Looks like Q may die to the clock and does. Phil and Paulison able to get that one, and now they'll go on to Death. But Death, I believe he will be a bit too tanky. In fact, he might find another kill here, or maybe not. Phil is able to stick charge up. He's going to survive as they go back onto Death. He has another Anchor Smash if he wants to try for this. Fu is going to tie now. Paulison is stuck with this tide by himself. And he cannot do the job by himself. We'll have to leave. While all that was happening, top lane, I believe we did lose our Pangolier. Ice. Ended up getting himself a kill.
Yep, really even start now from MG.Trust. They're starting to find some ground here. That minus armor strat early on the bot lane, definitely paying off. That quick leveled and gush securing these early kills. So you do have to watch out for how much damage does get amped up with the Blightstone and gush, but Q oversteps a bit.
He's going to be alright. Even just with the brown boots, it can be quite hard to keep up with the Lina. Fu might go again now. It does have the battery assault up. Just waiting for those tranquils to come off cooldown. Oh, and Q might be out of position now if Fu does make the rotation in. They are just kind of staring each other down at the moment. Fearless, meanwhile, was ruptured up top lane, trying to go after Ice. Blood Right will be dropped, but Boom Bell will just keep going. They will not be able to keep up with Ice, who does eventually back off. Back down to the bot lane, where Arbet is rotated now onto Death. He does have the Ridge, but he won't commit yet. Just trying to hold on to it for now. It will eventually come out. That's a big Ravage, connecting on 4 heroes. And Arbet on the run, may just die and will. 2 heroes going down, and the silence on Death just did not last long enough. A 4-man Ravage to get himself started in this game number 1.
That's just the perfect start for a tie that you could hope for, punishing the overextension. MG.Trust on point with a rotation T-piece as well, paying off in a big way, giving that a lot to play with. Of course, you have sort of left Savage alone, but he is finding farm elsewhere on the map, still having a good time here on the PL. And with those sets of kills, MG.Trust, despite the slower start, have managed to pull ahead 4-7. Less than 1k net worth lead. They're getting a ton of farm out on Death and Savage. And they are sort of sacking Fearless, but we've seen Fearless in this spot before. Does have his levels up. Just needs perhaps the phase boots into Yules to really be effective on that Ember. And he will eventually find that farm. Team Dog, for their part, after that quick start on Abed with that 1 death, his timing on the travels will be offset. They are making moves up top on In Your Dream.
They are trying. They aren't going to really be able to lock him down, though, so In Your Dream is able to just get himself out. Bot lane could see a bit of action. Q going to get ruptured up by Ice into the Blood Right, and Q is going to get blown up. That's going to get himself a free kill, while top lane In Your Dream was trying to go onto Fearless. Now we'll try for Boom Bell, but does get disarmed straight away. In Your Dream just going to keep farming up. Looks like he's not too interested in getting involved this early on, although as I say that, Fearless playing with fire. In Your Dream getting jumped on again by Fearless with the Remnant, and In Your Dream is eventually going to die here. The Ember does make it happen.
Yeah, that's a really important kill for Fearless to pick up as well. That does help him save up after that slower start. He is starting to claw his way back in that worth. And In Your Dream is actually the bottom bin right now of all the cores. So this is not the spot you want your Earths to be in. Team Dog has to give IYD some space to play farm in, but so far, he's not getting that farm he needs. So couldn't see if In Your Dream gets some recovery done for himself, but good pressure from MG.Trust, hitting Team Dog where it hurts, keeping that Ursa down.
But they are. Savage, he's been kind of freely farming up in the jungle ever since. Just just left the lane and started getting that farm up. Once that Diffusal Blade is available, it's going to make it that much harder for Team Dog to try and fight into Motivate.Trust. I mean, you're nowhere near that Battle Fury. It's going to be very, very late here for In Your Dream, which is going to be very, very bad news. Let's go into Fearless again, but Fearless will just throw the chains out and it's going to be perfectly fine. There are 3 heroes up here, even Arfu joining in.
BT.Trust, they've got to smoke on 2 supports at the back, though.
You do have that Rolling Thunder on Boombell to boot. Arfu, Swashbuckle, not going to land. Rolling Thunder is going to be used up, but they don't quite have the angle, so Boombell will go towards the west, see if you can find In Your Dream. They do land the stun once, but that'll pretty much be it. And In Your Dream now. Pop the Enrage. Soulbind is there with the double silence, but everyone's going to be fine. Unless Arbed can find a lasso. Hookshot in from Arfu. A very messy engagement here from Team Dog. Still trying. Boombell trying to fight it out. Laguna is going to come out, and now Arbed is also going to die. A great rotation in from Death. That's going to be the 4th kill out for this Tidehunter. And another failed rotation from Team Dog.
Yeah, just overcommittal under the tower. They need to respect how often BT.Trust have been jumping around the map. Very well played from Death. Looked a bit bad at the start, missing the Rolling Thunder, missing out on the spells, but pays off, and they managed to punish Abed again. After that good start, Abed starting to lag behind and farm a bit. Is behind Fearless now, though.
Looks like they have found a target in Fearless. Silence up is going to be long, quite a long time in fact, but he's going to Remnant away, still ruptured, but the Remnants are going to come out and he just TPs. There's not much they can do in the way of stopping him from doing that. Nice, he did have the Rod of Atos, but didn't have the vision.
And that is the weakness of the Bloodseeker, countered out by 1 item, very cheap item as well. Still, BT.Trust have stalled out long enough to get Savage up with the Diffusal Blade, #1 in that fort now. And this power spike for the PL is going to rip through all the heroes inside Team Dog if you're not careful. I'm going to go for those Tier 1 tower trades though. Tier 1 up top going to be taken by Team Dog eventually, and the Tier 1 bot going to be pressured here by BT.Trust. Going to be even on the map. This should give In Your Dream a little bit more space to farm up his Battle Fury. Still 2 parts away, and you really do need this to come out for In Your Dream in a timely manner. I'd say within the next 2 minutes, ideally, if not 2.5 to 3 minutes at latest. Just don't want to stall this any longer than you have to.
Shot in on to Fearless mid lane. They got the silence off into the blood right. A nice lasso out from Arbed. They do have help, however. Where's the damage coming out from? It is not Team Dog. They have nothing. Savage now going to run down Polison. They're still trying to kill off this Ember, but he is just not dying. Maybe now with the blood right? No. He will remnant away in time. Meanwhile, Boombell still going after Ice. This Bloodseeker probably not going to last very long. In fact, he is able to walk away. The 3 heroes going down that mid lane into that Tier 1 mid tower.
Yeah, this is just a superb play coming out from BT.Trust. They win out the fight. They've got a Blink flying out for Death. So he's really emphasizing the team fight here. He already has his Vlads up as well. So our Tide is going to be looking to set up fights now for BT.Trust. And not the most common early pickup for a Tide, is going to be very effective. And we were talking about Death having to fill in the gaps for Masaros. He definitely feels like he's up to the plate.
I mean, he's doing a great job so far. Yeah, let's look to go in, see if he can find anyone, but the Sleight of Fist is going to be off target. Be the Tier 1 mid going. Meanwhile, the rest of BT.Trust down at the bot lane looking at Arbed on that Bat Rider. And Ravage is going to be committed. They just want this kill ASAP. With the Rolling Thunder, it is going to be more than enough. And I do enjoy the fact that Death doesn't feel the need to hold on to the Ravage. He will commit it if he does find himself a very valuable kill.
Yeah, it's really what you want. Just put that spell on cooldown, find early pickoffs early in the game. Doesn't matter too much if it's not the biggest kill. as long as you find something, because you don't tend to find big 5-man clump ups early on anyway. So you might as well just take what you can get. Team Dog, for their part, are sitting back, still building up that farm. In Your Dream is about a minute away from the Battle Fury, so he's within the timing, considering that start. But MG.Trust are not going to rest. They're just going to keep fighting like this.
Hook shot. It's going to be the back. Looks like they did find out the Lena. Q is going to die, but now Savage is looking to come in. Ice goes for a rupture. Does he even get there? I think he got an illusion. Collison is going to go down. It looks like an Ice has been left behind. He will also die, and yeah, I'm pretty sure that rupture was on a PL illusion.
Yep. It's the tricky part, right? It's so hard to find the right target. Now off.
Yeah, I mean, Savage is out of control now in this PL. There's not really much in the way of slowing him down. He's just way too far ahead. And even looking at this tie, John, I mean, the fact that he got Vladimir's blink at like 14 minutes into the game was always going to be a real problem for Team Dog. You look at it In Your Dream, he just got the Battle Fury up. It's not the worst timing in the world. It is a bit late, but by the time you've gotten this, it just feels like Savage is already out of control.
He definitely is. The best you can hope for now is that In Your Dream gets left alone to farm up as efficiently as possible. With Battle Fury, he's going to get a lot more. There is a smoke here from Team Dog.
Death is going to be targeted. They go for the hook shot out. They should be able to get him with the blood right there as well as In Your Dream. And Boomball going to go straight in the middle of the cogs, doing a lot of damage, but he is basically by himself, or maybe not. Fearless and Q going to come in. They go after Paulson in the back as well. Paulson should die, but they do get Q with In Your Dream. Abed, meanwhile, trying to go for a bit more, but Savage is around now. He can't really find the real one that easily. Now he does. The lasso is there. They got the PL, and In Your Dream will come in, and they do get the kill. Onto Fearless. Chains out. Is not going to be enough. In Your Dream wants to keep going. Fearless, he does have one Remnant available, but he's going to play with fire. He will Remnant the other way. So overall, a good team fight for Team Dog. They get a lot of valuable pickoffs there.
Yeah, they do win out. MG.Trust just a bit too staggered in their initiation there, or counter initiation. Death, not quite the tankiest with this kind of build. He is going to go for the disarm though. That's going to be a massive help up against Ursa, but he does need to watch himself if he does get isolated. Really easy to pick him off if you have enough bodies, and they do lose a bit of gold from that. So Team Dog, nice little bit of a recovery fight. They're going to need more of that down the line though, and they have to worry here a bit. MG.Trust, they've got Ravage back up on Death. And when you have that blink, you want to keep fighting.
Hookshot is there. Boombell, he can't really Rolling Thunder through the rupture. He's going to die. Now, with that, Motivate, do they really want to keep going forward? Looks like the answer is no, not quite yet. They'll just keep farming up. I suppose you don't really want to wait too long into In Your Dreams, Ursa. It could become a real problem later on in the game, but I have to see. In Your Dream, he has been catching up in farm.
Yeah, he's given that space. With a Battle Fury, you're highly efficient in clearing out camps. Not the same kind of farm for Savage. He is very quick across camps, but doesn't clear them as quickly. So you've got to watch the space you're giving to IYD is paying off. I'd say MG.Trust, it hurts them every single time they're sitting on this Blink Ravage, because you invest in the Blink to get the Ravage out. They should understand that they need to be hunting a little bit more than they have. They have taken a couple of losses, but there's that smoke from MG.Trust. Just go for a single pick-off as they have. It's going to be enough to make this worthwhile.
Top lane, Fearless. TP down to the bot lane. The rest of the Motivate gonna just take the right Radiant Triangle, but bot lane, Fearless get Rod of Atos start, but he does get the Yules off. Still, he has been ruptured. Gonna be alright. Bounty runes are picked up 2 for 2 down at the bot lane and top. Looks like Abed's going to run into a DD rune now, the Bat Rider as well. They do find Abed. This could be a very valuable pick if they could get it. Can they perma-stun him up? No, the BKB will be there. He will be able to run away.
It's a fairly big item to pop out, though. That was the 10-second charge of Abed, and it's going to leave him vulnerable if ever the Ravage does come out soon. They are just going to go straight to the rush, but here MG.Trust going for that easy objective. You do not quite have vision here from the side of Team Dog, so it's just going to be straightforward for them. Should have an inkling of it happening. All the ice.
Oh, ice getting caught out. Laguna straight away being expended by Q to make sure he dies quick. That Roshan. That'll be the Roshan. Going down fairly easily. More Motivate.Trust.
It's a bit rough for Team Dog. They still are keeping up in terms of net worth, though. This investment in your dream is paying off. SNY is up. BKB is going to be next for your Ursa here. Abed, for his part, after that, BKB is rushing his own Blink. So once you have that on Abed, he's going to be able to at least jump in, maybe isolate the PL before he gets some illusions out, or grab this Fearless Ember that's been causing some havoc now and take him out before anything else can happen. We'll have to see how that does line up. You've got the Blink up here, though, on Boombell's Pangolier flying out. So he's got a way of just blinking in with a Rolling Thunder, getting himself in the right spot to get control. It's going to make it a lot easier to set up for the Ravage or follow up on the Ravage. And that's going to improve the team fights here for MG.Trust. Again, they've been sitting on this Ravage out from death. They need to start lining up where they want to go with it and kind of make use of that. They do have the Halberd flying out on death, though. So he is going to be able to at least get the disarms off soon. I believe he's still lacking the Talisman of Evasion. Once you've got that up, the Ursa is going to have a harder time focusing in and getting some damage out. So yeah, you're going to have to want to get that BKB in your dreams soon, as the timings are going to line at right around the same time here.
Yeah, say hello to Abed in that mid lane. Hookshot going to be there. Death getting caught out. Bloodright is going to be there as well, so he can't Ravage quite yet. He could wait this out, though. He is still alive, but the Battery Assault slowly ticking him down, but he gets the life still in time. Rolling Thunder now. Death eventually does end up dying, but they also got Arfu. Pulse will drop, and with that, they also lose Ice.
It's a big amount of heroes to lose just for the Tide. And the sad thing about that as well is that Death holds on to Ravage. So they still find 4 kills without having to expend that big teamfight spell. Only In Your Dreams really getting anything from the map, but his farm is still not overtaking Savage. Savage already with the Ags up on his PL means that he's going to be sprinting around so much more with a Phantom Rush. He's going to get a lot more control out as well. A lot more damage out because of the buff it does give. So Team Dog will have to be a bit cautious. They do have that Blink we've been talking about for Abed. So he can jump in, get the lasso off on either Fearless or on perhaps the real Savage. But Fearless does have a fresh Linkens. So it's going to be a bit more complicated if you want to lock in that Ember.
And it will be. T2 top tower will drop. In your dream, how's his farm going? It's still going well, but in terms of dealing with the PL, it just looks like there's a long time to go for him. Like, what's the real game plan here from Team Dog now?
They've got to play with their soulbind combinations. Go for solo pickoffs, that's where they're strong. avoid the clump up. That's where MG.Trust wants to be, and they find one.
They do. They're going to make the jump in onto Arfu. This could have double... Oh, nice hook shot attempt, but there was nothing there to hook onto, unfortunately. Savage has got a DD rune active as well. He'd love to go for another pickoff. So there isn't going to be much around for him to aim for, so he'll just take down some Ancients. Maybe they could rotate into the mid-tier 2 tower. That is what Savage will do. Get the tier 2 tower for free.
Yeah, it's a bit of an awkward time for Dog, right? They've been sitting on this blink of Abed for a long time. They haven't really been able to get control out on the map to get any solo pickoffs going. MG.Trust have been very disciplined and sticking together as a pack. So not many opportunities presenting themselves for Dog. I think they need to smoke up. They do have only one ward out right now. They're going to need more to get some information off. And the Halberd is up here for death. So he has a solid way of keeping control on In Your Dream. In Your Dreams, BKB is just about to come out though. So it's going to be a back and forth between those item usages. It's going to be important for In Your Dream to be on top before the disarm can be up.
Another wraparound here, MG.Trust. Looking at In Your Dream. Looks like Savage may have spotted him out. Should have seen him go into that tree line. Pings are coming out for In Your Dream. He's going to go for a TP play, and looks like he just might make it. The line strike array not going to be there in time. Instead, it looks like Motivate, they just want to go for the last outer tower if they can. Only thing is they don't really have a creep wave. So they'll have to take it easy for a little bit.
Dog, they've smoked up on their high ground here in the triangle.
Try and get something done here. Nice lasso is out, but a quick Yule's out from Q into the line strike array. They got the BKB off this time, so they will kill off Boombill. Ravage, oh, it's a great Ravage out from Death, jumping straight in onto In Your Dream. Arfu will be the secondary to get cleaned up here. Savage tipping his Tidehunter. Meanwhile, Fearless, he does catch out the Bloodseeker, and they will surround Ice. Death on this Tide, John, he's been doing a great old job. We've been saying it all game, but some great work from him.
He's just really filling in the shoes of Masaros really well. Reminiscent of that. Death really coming into his own. Gonna go into the high ground now. Good bait out, but they aren't gonna give up just yet. Buybacks forced out from Ice. He's gonna have to put in his all, but Savage with his Scotty up is just such a hard hero to deal with. And they're just gonna lose the tier 3s, perhaps this full set of racks down mid as well.
Paulson died to Savage Illusions.
Jeez.
I wasn't watching. I assumed they were just running in. The Illusions were just running into the tier 4 towers.
Jesus. Savage.
Well, yeah, that'll be one lane of racks. I mean, this is the PL, John. We've seen him play this many times.
Oh yeah. They've forced a buyback, but they've already taken the tier 3 bot, so it's exposed. Not in a position to fight MG.Trust, have to wait for the cooldown on Ravage. But I have to say, this ward they have in the high ground, like, so much value. Like, this is why they could stand back, go for the Ravage. The vision they've got in this jungle, Dog needs to respect that. They know that they don't have eyes in the sky here in the bot jungle, so they've got to be cautious about where they come out. Their triangle's the safest part, because that's where their vision is. That's where they should be farming. That's where they should be forcing fights. Very hard to force it outside, even with a smoke.
Mid lane, they're going to try again with another smoke behind In Your Dream. Wrap through the dire triangle, it looks like. They ping out Death. Death could be in a spot of trouble. Doesn't have Ravage for another 15 seconds, but it does get out of within safety. However, They have caught out Q with the lasso. He's going to be alright. They do get double ruptures off, but is it going to be enough? Boombo just rolling around within that rolling thunder. Savage actually going to get caught out by In Your Dream. Is going to die. Now Fearless looking to try and make something happen, but Q also being jumped by this Ursa is going down, but Savage is now there to get some revenge out. They get one in the carry of the Ursa, and they'll also get Arfu. No buybacks left for Team Dog, and Abed in a very awkward spot. Can he TP out? No.
Ooh.
Savage does just get him in the nick of time.
Oh my god. He died in the fountain. His body TP'd out if you double click it. Jeez.
Oh,
On
no.
the edge, Abed. Not the good feeling.
No, it is
And
not.
with that, they're just going to be able to push out. No Ravage, but they got the big kills. They did force the buyback out from Savage. So he's in a bit of an awkward spot. Doesn't want to overextend here, but should be safe for the push. Dog options are running out. Going to be down 2 sets of racks, potentially all of them, if BT.Trust chooses to force this out. Heck, they might even eye tier 4s, but looks like Fearless is going to play safe and start to set up the creep wave up top at least.
Savage. I thought they might even just rush tier 4 towers, honestly. They may not realize the buybacks weren't there, or maybe just didn't believe they'd have enough damage to get through the tier 4s this early on. But there is a Roshan, of course, so why not just get started on that instead? That'll be the Roshan going down very quick. Fearless holding everyone else back, but Motivate.Trust is going to be there. Won't be quite enough, there's no follow-up to it. Meanwhile, Arfu trying to go for a hook shot into the Roshan pit. Not going to be there in time. Abed tries to jump in and steal the Aegis, but he doesn't get it either. And he will be forced to BKBTB. He did get the cheese, but is that really going to be the game changer? We'll find out soon, because Fearless, he's in trouble with Arfu. Misses the hook shot. He does not get Fearless. Now, In Your Dream, going to be surrounded by Savage Illusions. He does BKB and Enrage, trying to run out of here, but it is over. They do call the GG. Motivate.Trust, they do get game 1.
Yeah, it's, again, BT.Trust on the up and up after the last time we saw them 2 days ago. They are looking a lot better now, much more tied in with their team plan. They're playing together so much better. Team Dog slipping up here and there. Really good start in Abed, but doesn't manage to amount to much as they do throw too many bodies. Got to respect the Tidehunter. Got to respect Death. It might not be Masaros, but Death is a beast of his own. I want to say one big part of it is that set. I think anyone who has this ridiculously ugly Tide set is someone to be feared, because they're comfy enough to rock the stat bod and not care.
Absolutely. You've got to be confident with yourself if you're going to play that kind of cosmetic, John. With that, we are going to move on to our final game of the night between Team Dog and Motivate.Trust. Should be coming up in about 10 minutes. It's MLP Dota and Gen X Fire. We'll see you soon after a very short break for that final game. Back we are here for the final game of the night. It is, of course, Motivate.Trust versus Team Dog, and it is MLP Dota and John Xpire. John, final one of the night. Of course, game one just went past Motivate.Trust. They ended up pulling it off in quite convincing fashion, I would argue. Game two, what do you think you'd like to see Team Dog do differently?
I'd like them to use their advantage early on a bit better. Abed was jumping in early with his Bat Rider onto Death. They didn't respect the Tidehunter as much. They clumped up his 4 under a tier 1. And at that point, when Death found his 2 kills, it was just unstoppable. So Team Dog has to kind of measure that aggression a bit more, temper it down a bit. MG.Trust, they just kind of need to keep that pace going. They give Savage a hero he likes. He can really perform. Team Dog can just kind of temper back the aggression a bit, jump back right time, and find those openings. I think Abed was off to a really strong start. They couldn't maximize it because he immediately started dying back to back, and that's what costed them. They need to play smart around Abed, maximize that mid-impact hero he tends to play, and sort of bully out Savage. I think that was not the right target. They should have aimed for that PL instead, should have run down the Savage hero. That's what I want to see Team Dog to do. Prioritize Savage in the laning phase, find him as the early kills.
It seems like in the last draft anyway that they didn't really expect the PL to pop up. And the Ursa pick, I mean, you could see what they were kind of going for with the Battle Fury Ursa. We used to see that a lot in the previous meta. It made enough sense for Team Dog to go down that route, but obviously it didn't really pan out that well. Well, with this new draft, they do go ahead and first pick the Lina. Motivate.Trust will take the clockwork for themselves, and Team Dog will go into the Undying as well. So a very standard kind of powerful support opening for Team Dog. And Motivate.Trust, what do you want to run with this clockwork?
They've got options here. Snapfire could come out, Mars could come out as well, really decent combos with a clock. Of course, Mars does get its own spear setup with anyone trapped in the cogs, or if they're in front of the cogs. You can make that happen, and Snap for the Kisses is always nice. Could see... those are the best. I think Mars is probably the highest priority if they wanted to. Could easily just slip back to a Tide. Doesn't necessarily combo with a Clockwork, but considering Death's performance, a Tidehunter is always nice to have on hand. Clockwork can kind of follow up in that initiation, or vice versa. So either one could come out. Otherwise, Clockwork is fairly open. You don't necessarily need to combo it with anything here. And MG.Trust are just considering their options, really digging into reserve. That's going to hurt them a bit as we see that reserve time burned in the bans and the picks. Not going to have as much tinking time there in the second phase.
No, they aren't. Alright, they go straight into the Morphling, so they don't want to allow these pickups to get banned out by Team Dog, and we saw in the last draft the second ban phase was pretty much all 23 Savage bans from Team Dog, so now they just take the Morphling. They make sure they get what they want. Team Dog, well, they won't be bothering to ban out position 1s, I'm sure. They'll have to focus on other things. Maybe they do focus on death bans right now. Just make sure Death doesn't have a good game. Because last game around on the Tide, he had a very good game, and it was quite evident.
Yeah. I think that's something they could consider here. Pretty safe to just ban out something like the Tide anyway. It's been a fairly safe ban out in the second phase. Do take out the Viper first, which is normal. The Drow Ranger being banned out by MG.Trust, taking out perfectly balanced pushing strats here for Team Dog. It would have been nice with the Lina. I think that's something we always forget. Lina plus Drow plus Venge. You are losing your towers from a mile away. So just preempting that here for MG.Trust. Heads up play. I want to say that, you know, we could see the Flex Morphling mid, and then the Savage Sven coming out down the line if they didn't ban it first. I think TNC kind of spoiled us because of that one game. It's so fun to see 2 hammers flying around perfectly balanced.
It was.
I suppose. Nothing else you're really looking here for the morph. They ban out the AM, so that mana burn's not going to be a thing. I'm not sure if they want to give In Your Dream something like the PL. PL into Morphling is something that really ruins the Morphling. Clockwork doesn't necessarily do anything against a PL as well, so IYD could flex that Morphling, could flex the PL this time around if they wanted to. Toss it back towards MG.Trust. could be a possibility if MG Trust don't ban it out.
Could be. The final ban outs now to come. Team Dog, the Viper Phoenix banned out. What else do you want here? They could also just focus on Fearless. Just make sure he doesn't have a good time. And I mean, that initial laning stage for Motivate was going very badly in that mid lane for Fearless. Arbit was completely dominating that lane, but still didn't really matter in the end. Do ban out the Bat Rider. So not wanting to have to play up against that.
10 seconds remain.
Motivate.
5 seconds remain. Radiant.
They'll get rid of the PL, so they want to make sure that they don't have the same experience that they just gave to Team Dog, which is fair.
Yeah,
Very special.
To pick.
Oh,
Ooh.
and there it is. The CK was left. Death will take it to the off lane. Terrible, terrible stuff we're about to witness, I'm sure.
Oh, this is gonna be fun. This is gonna be fun. Death, he delivered on the Tide. Let's see if he can deliver in the CK. A little bit more emphasis on the farm of that hero. See how much he can get out.
5
Again, the
seconds.
PL ban, mainly just to keep their Morphling safe. No diffusal carrier, no illusion spam to have to worry about. Means that Savage should have a fairly good time here. Team Dog, options are limited now. They should understand what's coming out with the CK.
Radiant's turn to
They
pick.
should know that the illusion spam is coming in, and this is one way to deal with it. Pangolier comes out. Swashbuckle is a fairly decent way to kind of try to deal with the illusions. They've got some pretty gnarly team fight coming out here as well. LSA and Lina, Tombstone coming out from the Undying, and Rolling Thunder is nice, although
10 seconds
their control is not the hardest, especially that LSA. Relying on it down the line might not lead to too many good times. Like, for example, the Morphling, you're going to have a hard time pinning Savage down here with LSA and Rolling Thunder. Savage is going to have a lot of opportunities to go in and out, and that could be an issue for Team Dog.
I do agree with you on that, John. Even with the Pango, I'm not sure if it's quite enough to get rid of those illusions. Like, it's definitely a good way to do it, but, oh, Skywrath Mage pops out now, and I believe that is something Q does enjoy playing. So, it could be quite devastating for Team Dog to have to play into that. Obviously, the Pango and Lina, both of which don't like playing into the Ancient Seal.
10
It's
seconds.
not very fun for them, and see how it does work out. I'm always kind of mixed about the Skywrath. It still does feel very, very weak, even though we have been seeing it pop up a bit more as of late. And Team Dog, now they have a carry that can kind of just deal with the Skywrath. You just haunt, and if you jump on the Skywrath, he's just dead. There's no way about it. It's,
Yep.
he's a very, very squishy kind of support with 0 base armor, might I add.
Yeah, it really is. I still see some ways for MG Trust to run this, though. Big thing is Clock Sky combo. That is actually pretty darn scary. Hookshot in, Cogs up, Mystic Flare on top. And anyone, nearly anyone caught inside is going to be dead with a silence on top. If you don't get the silence off, Pangolier should be able to jump out, Spectre can dagger out, so it can be dicey. And talking about that, that means Spectre's Manta timing is going to be important for survivability here in Team Dog. Our Pangolier as well, maybe looking at Guardian Greaves or Lotus Orb to get that self-purge off, maybe even a Yules. We'll see what the game plan is. Of course, there is some flexibility here on the laning for Team Dog. Looks like we should be expecting the Ice Pango coming true. I think they're going to have to run the Lina and Undying support, unless Abed just takes the Lina. And they run the Undying Pango support with a last pick hero for Ice, perhaps. Could be an option if they want to flex it off. But options are starting to grow limited with their draft, so gonna have to start hammering in there. MG Trust, on the other hand, have a lot of flexibility in closing out their draft. Last pick left for Fearless. You do see the Kunkka and Ember being taken out here. So we're gonna have to see what else Fearless is gonna go for. I'd say the Void Spirits in the pool. That's something we know Fearless plays really well. They wanted a high mobility hero to come out. And kind of ties in with that Skyrat Mage really nicely as well, right? Long range reach, Remnant to set up the Mystic Flare. Easy way to find pickoff. So you give yourself 2 options there to play with that Mystic Flare.
We might have both spirits popping up, John. I mean, the Void Spirit and the Storm Spirit are both available right now, so I could see Fearless going for the Void Spirit, and I could see Abed going into the Storm Spirit this game. Assuming it isn't banned out now by Motivate.Trust, which they definitely could go for if they wish. For now, only going for the Puck ban. But I could certainly see the Storm being picked up here by Abed. Does seem like a nice way to just kind of deal with the Morphling later on, but they do ban it out. Motivate don't want to have to play up against that, but the Void Spirit was available, of course. And Abed does take it now, so Fearless, it's going to be a matter of what he wants to play up against that Void Spirit. And what do you want now?
10 seconds
No
remaining.
Spirit Brothers left unless Earth Spirit comes out. Underlord is the name of the game.
Okay,
Who's playing that? Is that still
Might be.
Fearless? Could be.
I think it might
right?
be.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a solid laner against the Void Spirit. Like, it's not going to get bullied out by the Void Spirit, so Fearless should be able to hold his own. It's another combination with the Skyrat Mage. Pet of Malice into the Mystic Flare is pretty darn scary, and it plays really nicely with a Cogs lockdown of the Clockwork. So a lot of good combinations here for MG Trust. Nothing too flashy, but it can get the job done. Team Dog, though, do have this long timer, kind of a ticking time bomb on IYD. Spectre just needs to get that Blade Mail, build up the farm. You need some space out from the rest of your team, but with a Lina and an Undying, with a Pango and a Void Spirit, there should be enough space there. They can start fighting early on the side of Team Dog. That's what they need to do. This time, restrain that aggression on Abed. Don't overcommit on under the tier 1. So although this time around the Chaos Knight should be a bit more manageable, they've got options there. Even jumping the supports early on, feeding off of those kills, should be one way for Team Dog to escalate. So a much more fast-paced draft for Team Dog as a whole, except for the Spectre, whereas MG Trust, no flashy big ults, but very straightforward combos. Going to be exciting to see how Death performs on the CK this time around. And of course, you do give Savage this comfort pick in the Morphling. He's going to be very happy with that hero.
And he will be. Game number 2 will begin now. Final game of the night. Shout out to everyone watching, by the way. It's been very fun with the viewers, of course. Chat's always a good laugh. They've been making me say very rude words in Filipino today, but it's okay. I'll forgive them. Poor
as
old
it should
mods
be.
have been working overtime because of my antics, John. Shout out to the mods as well, doing God's work in the chat.
Oh, absolutely. Seeing some internet issues here. If you hit that enter button, Mike, you can see Fearless and Abed have been on and off in the game. So rather unfortunate, but both sides, both teams having some connection issues, as you tend to see. It is Southeast Asia, as
That
is
it
tradition.
As is tradition. I'd have it no other way, John. Absolutely no other way. Hopefully won't take too long.
Yeah. You know, I'm curious. Have you ever seen a ghost form of the Morphling? You know, one of those ghost packs? Does he even have a ghost form? What would ghostly water look like?
I imagine he does, John. I personally haven't seen it myself. So, I don't know, we'll
What
find
would
out.
it look like? I feel like it would look the same, because he's already blue and translucent. So I don't think there's going to be any major... Maybe he glows a bit, because there's a slight glow. That would be something.
It's Morphling, John. We can't afford the, what do you call them? Not the pixels, the polygons.
Particle effects. Yeah, the polygons, yeah, no.
Can't afford
Just
that.
a solid blob.
It's too much.
Can't have it. Can't have him flowing like water. You gotta make him blocky like a rock for some reason. I love this start from Savage. You know, he's leaving it on attribute shift and just takes me back. Takes me back to when a different Jackie used to be in Southeast Asia. He used to just do this, leave it there. Stuck on attribute shift agility. Leave it on for the sound. So he knows. I miss that.
I actually saw Savage the other day. He was hitting a tower, and every time he hit a tower, he would press the Morph Agi button as the attack animation was going to hit the tower. And I was like, Savage, it's not the way it works. Doesn't you don't need to press the button every time, but that's what he was doing, turning it off and on, off and on. Or Fearless gonna get chased down a little bit. Ice, and Paulson trying to get some very early damage in, and they do get a substantial amount out. Already over half the HP of Fearless has disappeared. He might actually run all the way back to the fountain. Like, no, he won't. He'll just passively regen with near the tower. Go for the creep block. He does not want to give any kind of advantage away to Abed on this Void Spirit.
He's going to have to work double time on the Underlord. Abed is going to hit some earlier spikes. It is a Void Spirit. You've got a good amount of damage. You've got great wave clear with Resonant Pulse. Good ways of kind of mitigating physical damage exchanges as well. So our Underlord's not going to be able to trade in right clicks. Fearless needs to just really be cautious. Use his Firestorm as best as he can. And perhaps just go for that standard Firestorm Atrophy build. Maybe a value point in the Malice down the line if he gets a rotation. Should be a steady farming lane. No real excitement you can expect from these two heroes, as it's going to be a solid lane. You can take a look at the bot lane. Boombell already dropping low. This lane should be a lot better for Team Dog. Afu on the Lina does have superior range, and the early damage from Ice with a Swashbuckle is something to watch out for. So Savage and Boombell going to be off to a slower start until they get some levels up, particularly Savage's level 3. With the attribute shift, that's when he's kind of safe in the lane.
Absolutely. The top lane, the one we haven't really talked about yet, Paulson and In Your Dream, up against Death and Q. Now, this could also be a very scary lane for In Your Dream, as if you do get rifted into the stun, the damage that can be pumped out, especially with Q alongside spamming out Arcane Bolts, could be quite devastating for In Your Dream. Suppose with Paulson around, though, you're always going to have the Soul Rip there, which will probably mean that In Your Dream won't quite die. But at the same time, Death might be able to kind of influence the farm of In Your Dream this lane.
Yeah, it's going to be a bit of a back and forth lane. In Your Dream so far, though, isn't under too much pressure. You're probably looking for Q's levels here. Like, level 2 is up, has the Arcane Bolt with a concussive, but you want the value point in that Ancient Seal to really hammer in some kill potential. Still takes a nice courier, so you're going to have to watch how you ferry out these items, as Q can kind of play tag. He does have really good move speed base, so that is one way to kind of get it started. But so far, all the lanes kind of going out well, although they jump Paulson.
They do, and poor old Paulson, he just had a clarity cancelled by Q, and it looks like it won't matter anyways. He might die, but no, he'll salve up. It's like, is it worth staying alive here for Paulson? It feels like you'd just rather die right now as the Undying. You're stuck with no regen. You've got 3 mangoes there, and he's going to go for a TP back to the fountain. So doesn't want to give the First Blood gold away, but in terms of like the effectiveness of this Undying, you're going to miss out on a lot of the laning stage just trying to run back to the lane.
Yeah, it's an interesting choice there from Paulson. That does leave In Your Dream really vulnerable as well. He's just going to cop a lot of damage. He's going to need a reset by the time this Undying walks back.
He might be dead.
It's going to be a slower start.
Oh no, Q. Couldn't get another Arcane Bolt off. And actually, bot lane is where the First Blood happens. Ice able to pick it up onto Boombell. And with Boombell gone, of course, they could definitely just start harassing out Savage. Savage has hit that level 3 mark on the Morph, so the chances are he's not going to die. But they can certainly just try and make it as hard as humanly possible for him to be able to farm up in this lane now.
Yeah, they are starting to apply that pressure. They're hitting the level spikes here on the side of Team Dog. And just getting that First Blood sort of makes it worthwhile to waste those blinks. And oh, Savage.
He's gone back in again, but yeah, at the level 3 mark with the Strength Morph, you're just not going to die. Not that easily anyway. How's mid lane going now? It's like Fearless is trying to force Abed away from the lane. Abed is going to hope and pray that the bot rune spot is going to give him power rune, but it is not. It is going to be up top, and he would love that regen rune right now, but he's probably not going to be able to make it in time, as Fearless is the one to go ahead and pick it up. He's going to enjoy that now, being able to spam out the Firestorm whenever he wants. He can pop that regen rune whenever.
Just a steady farming lane once more. Abed is not really lagging behind, but certainly getting denied off a little bit more as you'd expect. You are still hitting some decent spikes here for Abed, so you will
Savage.
be able to hit 6 at good point.
They just hit Savage so much, John. Eventually, he ran out of strength to morph into, and now even Boombill's going to go down. On the brighter side, for Motivate.Trust, they do end up getting the kill onto Pulse and top lane, but it's not really going to matter as Savage is having a very tough time, and now even Death and Q are low. In your dream, not going to feel too threatened here. Can even run down and secure those 5-minute bounty runes for himself.
Yeah, pretty big wins overall for Team Dog. Much better early game start coming out here, winning out in trades, giving Ice this really commendably fast start. Does have the Urn up already on the Pangolier as well, so it should be a quick ramp up into the rest of his items. That is something to watch out for. Death, and he's still trying to pressure In Your Dream. It's just not amounting to much. With Dispersion up at level 2, In Your Dream is slightly tankier with reflecting some of that damage back. So it's going to be harder to pierce through, but they keep going.
They do. And on the brighter side of MG.Trust, Fearless is having a pretty decent time on the Underlord. Problem is, Abed hasn't really felt the pressure, which might make it so this Underlord pick doesn't really feel that impactful yet. Meanwhile, Savage again going to be in trouble, but we'll be able to waveform away this time around. But as I was saying, when you pick up the Underlord, you kind of really want to make it so you can deny out the other laner, not allow them to have a free lane and have as much farm as possible. But Abed, he's got 40-1. He has not struggled in this mid lane.
It's down to the fact that Abed does have some pretty good wave clear as well with his Resonant Pulse. There have been no rotations from supports to help you really hammer in an advantage over Abed. And he's been a lot more cautious. I think he's just been zipping in Resonant Pulse, maybe aiming for as many creeps as he can, pull them back. Lane control's been really even. And that's exactly how Abed is going to work out this lane. He has his level 7 up. He's got perhaps an opportunity to rotate if he wanted to, but so far they're just satisfied getting the side lanes out like this.
Boombill again going to go down to the bot lane. This bot lane becoming a real disaster for Motivate.Trust. LSA going to land again. Ice dishing out more damage onto Savage. Savage just having to morph so much strength to remain in this lane. He does not have any regen apart from the stick charges left. He will use the stick charges and will be able to keep going in the lane. You start to wonder how long this can keep up for Savage. They are not slowing down every single time they see him. They just keep pumping out more harassment. All he can really rely on right now is the stick charges that he does have.
It's just such a hard start. And even up top, Death, every time they jump halts and he's just gone now. Not enough levels on the Undying to really sustain. So a bit of a back and forth. This is still a net win for Team Dog. Just the fact that Savage can't farm here is already enough.
Bot lane again. Clockwork is there with the cogs. Fearless around. Boombill is going to go down, but they do get the leaner. Now Ice wants to go for a Rolling Thunder back in onto Fearless. He needs to land the hit once. He won't get it yet. He's going to go back around. Fearless trying to juke him out. Swashbuckle there, but it's not going to be enough damage. He did need a hit with the Rolling Thunder to really get the kill secured. Look at Savage and Fearless just kind of hugging each other in the tree line. Oh, Ice is very, very close. Is not going to be able to get the kill. Oh, Savage. TP's mid lane. He might be in trouble again. Abed couldn't get there in time for the hero, but we'll be able to get the courier of 23 Savage. Motivate.Trust still. Oh, Fearless shows up again in the bot lane. I thought he would have just left, but Ice, he'll accept the free kill.
Yeah, and Team Dog now are the ones that get to pull ahead in this early game. A bit of a flip from game 1. 3-6, less than 1k lead going to the side of Team Dog. A lot of free farm being secured here for In Your Dream. So our Spectre is off to a really good start. Blade Nail going to be up relatively soon. And once you have that, of course, you are set to just flash farm on the spec. You do see MG.Trust drag the numbers up top. It's about that time where tier 1s are going to be targeted. Of course, they are already going bot, although IYD.
Yeah, IYD going to be in trouble. In Your Dream going to try and just run away with the Spectral Dagger, but the damage is going to be out. Ice now with the rotation, gets a Rolling Thunder off and is going to focus down Boom Bell. Will eventually be able to get the kill now back in onto Paulison. Death and Q going to be able to get a double kill for this Skywrath. Overall, definitely a very nice kind of trade here for Motivate.Trust up at the top lane.
Yeah, they win out, they slow down In Your Dream. He was being left alone for a bit too long, so they're stalling out his progression. Does have his Blade Mail up. I don't think In Your Dream is going to mind too much. Does make his way bot as well, so still looking for the tier 1 tower trades coming out. They did manage to defend top despite those losses, so no progression on the map here for MG.Trust. They are a lot closer to losing their own tier 1 bot here, and MG.Trust, all they can really do right now is just keep farming up. Savage has got space down mid. Abed is 2 levels ahead though, so this is not the safest time for him, but is playing on the edge and has his Morbid Mask to get some regen out anyway.
We haven't really seen many rotations out from Abed on the Void Spirit, which is kind of intriguing. It's been very quiet. He's actually queued up a 4-star, interestingly enough. Go back onto Savage. They do have Ice there as well. Savage going to go back in onto Abed. Going to try and fight this one out with Fearless T being in. Front of Atos there onto Fearless as well. They really want this kill onto Ice, and they will get it with the Mystic Flare. Savage still going back onto Paulison. Paulison very low. Will die to the Simulate damage. Now Abed might just have to back off, but Boombell gets a nice hook shot out onto Arfu. They will get a 3rd kill. And Abed going back in for the kill onto the Clockwork, but that may cost him his own life. He will barely be able to get away now. In Your Dream will haunt in to try and get them off his mid laner. He does, but they will be able to get a substantial amount of damage into this mid tier 1 tower.
It's going to be a nice objective for them to chip away at. There are respawns though. These are very low levels, so they're back up for the defense.
Yeah, Ice just going to go straight for the Rolling Thunder back into Fearless, who does get the Dark Rift off. That is a very long kind of duration Dark Rift, but he should be able to get away. Nice little play out from Fearless. He'll leave everyone else behind. Although the side of Team Dog had a great start to this game, it seems like they have slowly lost it in these most recent skirmishes.
Yeah, it's they've been dropping way too many important heroes for those exchanges. They are still trying to flash farm with In Your Dream though. He is number 1 in that word, and I suppose that's the one thing Team Dog's trying to do. Secure a start for the Spectre, which you could say they've done. It's coming at the cost of every other hero, although Abed and Ice aren't too far behind. It's not a massive lead for MG.Trust. 1k their way, 8-8, 12.5 minutes in. A lot more room to grow, but MG.Trust are smoked up with 2 supports. They've got the hook shot ready, and they've got the Mystic Flare ready to go as well.
That's all you need sometimes. Abed. Oh, Aether Remnant perfectly timed. So, had he not done that, he may have been just dead. They did have the Ancient Seal there. Dead. Hidden Malice going to be placed down with the run of Atos out. Not really going to lead to much, though. Looks like Boombell and Q are still waiting around. They could try for Abed. And they will. The hookshot is out. Ancient Seal with the Mystic Flare. Abed not paying respect to the combo. Maybe forgetting that Ancient Seal does exist on Skywrath, and well, he will die.
Yeah, really good movement out. Still not giving up in the mid.
Hidden Malice comes in, run of Atos there. Death now going to rotate as well. Oh, nice Phantasm dodge on the Rolling Thunder. Eventually it will hit, however, and Death still trying to juke this one out, but he has gone a bit too far and will end up paying for it. Meanwhile, Savage wants that Tombstone gold. He will go back into Arfu, and he will get that gold that he wanted. Plus 125 for Savage. There's now another nice bit of Malice, Rod of Atos to come out. Light Striker Ray going to land onto Savage, but he does get the Undying form now. Meanwhile, Abed trying to play around with the supports, might just die for his trouble, but will barely be able to get away. Boombell, Spectral Dagger, going to follow him down, does get the kill. They still want to keep fighting, though. Pit of Malice is out. Savage keeps going onto the Undying, and with the waveform, he will be able to get the kill onto Paulison, but now they might be able to turn around back on the Morphling. Savage was dropping low, but is going to be fine. In fact, they will stick around and continue going into that mid-tier 1 tower.
Yeah, it's a long, drawn-out fight. BT.Trust does win at the end, and they find the objective. So they manage to clear the mid-tier 1, opening up the forays into the jungle. This does leave In Your Dream a bit vulnerable, as he is going to be limited to his triangle now for farm. Is still farming up good, but the rest of his team now is definitely lagging behind. Abed falling behind Death, even in Ice as well, starting to trail. Don't want to have these heroes drop too far for the Spectre, as you need them to make some plays here.
Things are getting very scary here for the side of Team Dog. Watch out for that Pit of Malice and the Rod of Atos. Tombstone going to be casually dropped there by Paulison. It's not going to lead to much. Abed doesn't have any astral steps right now, so it's kind of hard to imagine him jumping in. They're going to try onto Q. Laguna will be enough to take Q out. They'll get something to trouble. That'll pretty much be it.
It's a pretty big pickup in the end, though. That's a massive streak on Q, worth 400 gold. So really nice pickup for Afu. Should help him save up for his own Aether Lens. Just kind of lined up there. Once you've got that, easier to land the LSA, easier to set up for your team on Afu. It's going to be good for him to get that spike up. Still, for the most part, BT.Trust working this map well. Farming in that upper jungle really aggressively. They don't have complete control. They're sharing that space with the side of Team Dog. Could be in for a nasty surprise if they run into IYD. No real backup for Savage here beyond Death.
Well, Abed mid lane jumping in straight onto both supports. Does kill off Boombill. In Your Dream might haunt in for Q, but looks like he will not. Meanwhile, Fearless, looks like he had to Dark Rift out of the bot lane. It's getting very dangerous over there. Onto Savage. It's going to be all right. And overall, with all this time that's been used up, In Your Dream, freely farming up, is going to have the Mantap soon. Things are starting to look a little bit scarier as time goes on. You start to wonder, can they deal with the Spectre, with this Morphling in the late game?
I reckon they can. I don't think Savage is too worried about the Spectre going late. At least, talking about late, around 30 minutes or 35. I think when it drags on to the 50-minute marks, when you start to worry a bit. But for now, they're still within a timing that Savage is comfy with. They're still getting some items up. We still have to see Death pick up his Ags. You have to remember that item isn't up yet. And once it is, well, it's a completely different story coming out from CK. And this is where the Spectre can kind of fall flat. There's just not enough to clear out, although Fearless here.
He's going in. Does have the help of his supports behind him. They're looking for a hook shot, but now Ice. He's going to go back in with the Rolling Thunder. Oh, hook shot not going to land either. Burnbolt just barely missing out on that one. Q's going to die to Paulison. And now BT.Trust need to try and make a run for it. On the brighter side, they only lose Q. Team Dog just still buying more and more time. But as I say that, the Axe is up now. So, see how much of a difference this one makes. Like this Undying might be in trouble. Ice sticking around, but the Phantasm does come out now. Paulison going to be the first victim of it. And this could be the point where, you know, if you're Team Dog, you start to get a little bit worried about this. Ice. Get pulled in. Oh, the 4-second stun as well.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, no getting out of that one.
That's value. Immediate reveal of the Ags leading to a double kill for Death. This is that turning point for that CK, and you've got to be careful with his power spike, Team Dog. You want to tempt fate here.
We're going to be able to TP out just in the nick of time. Mid lane, Savage will show. Are they going to jump in for a cheeky little astral step, but that's going to be it as a hook shot comes in. Burnbell perfect, but they can't lock him down long enough. Astral step, however, or rather Aether Remnant does get Arfield. Now Savage in the middle of all this, trying to go after Abed. He is dropping low. Abed still rooted up, does go down. Can they keep going for more? Horn is going to be out there chasing down Q. In fact, no, they'll turn back around onto the Morphling, but the Dark Rift going to be out from Fearless just in the nick of time. No. Savage is going to die. He gets everyone else out, but they lost their main carry. And it's not going to feel too great for MG.Trust.
It's not the fight they were looking for. Does end up, in terms of raw net worth, being a bit more worthwhile for MG.Trust. Losing Savage does hurt. Now, that's a lot of gold going onto In Your Dream. He does have his Manta style up. So he's a lot more flexible now on the Spectre in a really good spot to help out. But they can just keep playing aggressive. Like every single time Death has his Phantasm up, they should be looking for plays, and Death is just running around the map.
Nice. Gonna get rifted in again by Death, and it really doesn't take too long once he does have you in his grasp.
Oh, that's nasty.
Yeah, it is.
Just a combination. The reach, you know, the Reality Rift into the stun with the Mystic Flare follow-up. You do not want to be in the way of the CK, and this is where Team Dog, you question the Pangolier. It's really not paying off yet in terms of clearing out these illusions. It will take a little bit more time. Even Afu with his Lina doesn't quite clear them out with his magic damage, so you need a little bit more in the tank for Team Dog. MG.Trust, beyond the Ags on Death, they do need more items out in Savage. He is saving up for the shotgun, which is going to be nice, but it's not coming out fast enough. Definitely lagging behind In Your Dream. The only core keeping up with that Spectre is Fearless, but that's not necessarily the hero you want to have the most farm in your team with.
Team Dog rotate through the top lane now. It seems like they've gone for a bit of a smoke up. They might actually run into 23 Savage, who is going to show up in this top lane. Rolling Thunder is going to be there. Light Strike already landing, and the Laguna, they get Savage. Ice now running into Fearless. They don't have a Dark Grip for another few seconds. It looks like Fearless is not going to have time anyway. He might give it a crack, or maybe not. 2 cores going down for Motivate.Trust once again. And time is a-ticking. Roshan's going to be taken, and this Spectre is getting a little bit too big for comfort.
Definitely is. They've left In Your Dream far too long to farm up. This Aegis Assault is going to complicate the process in terms of hunting IYD. Death has not been able to really maximize the Phantasm on him, although he is going to try to go.
I don't think Death can do this on his own. Well, he can get Polison, that's the start, but the Aegis is now on In Your Dream, and Death could be in a spot of danger. They'll try to Arbet, but he's got the Yules up and will avoid the stun. They ripped him back in. Arbet still just trying to run away. Now the Horn comes out In Your Dream. They'll get Boombell onto Death. The CK will not survive through this. Savage will be able to at least kill off Arbet, but he did just use that waveform and now needs a way out. In fact, maybe he needs a way back in. They want our food, but in Ice, getting the Rolling Thunder, going back after the Morphling. Of course, is not going to be enough to actually kill him off, but Ice is going to be able to just roll away and eventually TP back home.
And that's a really big win there for Team Dog. Aegis secured. They managed to get a couple of kills for their trouble as well. And In Your Dream, not quite the biggest Spectre yet, but still top of net worth. Still slowly building into that Scotty. And is going to be a massive issue. We still haven't seen Death really hammer in on the bigger cores. It's mainly been Ice is the biggest one he's been locking in. Maybe Abed on the offhand if he does catch him out. But they really need to hunt In Your Dream. It feels like they've left him in the jungle for too long while they've had this power spike, and now they're paying the price. Should see a smoke come out, and they do, but now you have to deal with 2 lives in the Spectre. Could be a bit risky.
Well, Ahmed rooted up, does get the Force Staff away. Now the Phantasm Ahmed, poor guy, has to put up with all this damage coming out from Death, and Boomball gets a great hook shot in. Polison in a spot of danger is going to drop as well. No way out of that one. Very back and forth game as Death once again into Afu now is going to find a 3rd target. And he is very good on this CK.
He is. He's delivering the goods. Still not finding the biggest heroes, but this is an opportunity now to get a bit of a push going. Going down mid, they've already forced the Fortify out. Fearless does have a lot of right-click damage from the Atrophy, so it shouldn't take too long. Team Dog aren't in position to counterfight yet. Haunt is down for 40 seconds. There is a double damage that is going to be on In Your Dream, though, so he might look to make something happen with the Aegis up. But looks like he's just going to focus on that farm. So MG.Trust take 2 objectives. Top tower was taken as well, and that does help balance the map out a bit more. 3k lead now on MG.Trust. Just need to wait for Savage to be online. Shotgun almost done. About 600 gold behind from getting that Eagle song up. So you will have more burst damage coming out from Savage, and that's going to be very important for him to start getting these kills on the map.
We're going to smoke up again. Bill going to be caught up this top bounty rune spot. The Aether Remnant is going to be there from Arbit, and that should mean Boom Bill's just going to die. But a nice hook shot out. He does actually make it out of there. Very nice little play there from Boom Bill. With all this time that's been had, Savage does have the shotgun up. That may be cue to smoke up here for Motivate.Trust. Problem is, at the same time, In Your Dream does get an Eye of Skadi up. So now they've got a very nice way of dealing with the Morphling's strength morphing.
Dog.
Smoke up. They have the Haunt as well. Boombill going to break the smoke. Shotgun is there, but the Undying does survive. Boombill going to die along with Polisson. Meanwhile, Arbit kills off Arfu. They go on to Ice. He's dropping low, still having the Rolling Thunder, but cannot get it off in time. And now Death is running down In Your Dream. They want the big one. They want that Spectre. With the stun out and the Rift, it's still not going to be enough. Savage goes in. Shotgun ready to go. They won't pop it yet. In fact, they go for Arbit instead. In Your Dream being slowed up by the concussive, but it is not enough. Gonna be able to get out of there. Still a very close game here, 23-20. And that team fight was a 1-for-3 trade in the favor of Motivate.
Yeah, it's just the right time to pull back for MG.Trust. The Aegis was still up. It is going to expire soon. So In Your Dream as well going to be very happy that he isn't going to be forced to fight anytime soon. Does lose the Haunt. It's going to be a big one. There's an opening here for MG.Trust to go back in after this reset. Phantasm will be up in about 8 seconds. So if Death wanted to group up once more, they could find that kill. It looks like MG.Trust for now is going to focus on the bot lane. Get some more towers out. Get an easy tier 1. Team Dog. Aegis does expire now. So In Your Dream, if he does go in the front, has to be cautious.
Arbit. Astral steps in onto the clock. Another easy kill. They do get Boombill into Savage now. Morphling. It's not a bother. In Your Dream getting started. The strength morphing has begun. Still Laguna is going to come out. Arfu doing a lot of damage. And they do get the kill. Fearless just trying to Dark Rift out. Will be fine. But he could not get his carry out of there. That's going to hurt Fearless just a little bit.
Yeah, that's a very big pickup for Team Dog. Punishing Savage for just being up too front for that tier 1. Just a bit too long. Although...
Oh, Death gets Ice.
Yeah, they needed Death to be closer earlier on. I think if Death was around, they could definitely have turned that fight with Illusion. Still looking for an opportunity here while Death is up. Nice kill in the courier. That was the Ags. Arbit just being denied at least this point.
Yeah, that it was. Arbit might actually get denied off himself here if he's not too careful, but he will dissimulate away back into Q and does get the kill. Onto Fearless they go. Fearless just going to go for a run. But he has been slowed up by that Eye of Skadi, and it looks like he is not getting out of this one. More kills to come for Team Dog. Well, they can go after this tier 1 mid tower now. It's been a long time coming.
Yep, takes them a while, but can get started. Fortify is popped out. MG.Trust need to really be careful. They're bleeding out their lead. In Your Dream is still the #1 net worth hero. Has been consistent throughout this entire game. So the Spectre investment is really paying off here. In Your Dream just holding on to 3k gold in the bank, waiting for what to build next. Perhaps looking at the Basher Abyssal, and he does queue it up. Once you have that, again, additional control coming out for our Spectre. additional tankiness as well coming in. And you just don't have that same durability yet in Savage. He's going for the Satanic next, which is going to give him a good amount of strength, but with no BKB, it does feel like he's always in a risk when he's up front of being controlled, being damaged down by the Void Spirit, by the Pangolier, and by the Lina. Perhaps some spell immunity down the line for any hero on MG.Trust would be big. No one has BKBs, in fact, in this entire game. So both sides just confident enough to just keep getting hit. Could bite them in the bomb down the line, but the smoke is out in MG.Trust.
Scanning for enemies.
30-minute runes are spawning up. Smoke in from Motivate, but it's going to lead to really nothing. Apart from a couple of bounties. 3k net worth lead still standing there for Motivate. Gonna move in now to the other side of that die triangle. Ahmed gonna be focused down, but Death gonna get stunned up by Ice. Savage will go in, back straight onto Pulse. In fact, no, they'll go after another. It's gonna be Fu going down, but the buyback is there in your dream. An absolute mess here, but Death is dropping low. Meanwhile, Ahmed being controlled up by the Skywrath. There is just so much going on. Boombill is going to die. Death also goes down. Reality Rift Away has left Savage behind. Uh-oh. In your dream on a godlike spree now, and I'm not sure what happened to Fearless there. I believe he got 4-staffed out. And yeah, Fu actually 4-star Fearless away.
Ooh, that's painful. Team Dog coming out on top. They were the ones in the defensive. MG.Trust again just constantly forcing out these fights without respecting the control and damage in Team Dog. I don't know if they can keep doing this without a form of spell mean to you. The Remnant holds are too big. The stun and damage out from Afu is too much. Even the control and damage from Ice is really starting to be a big factor. So, kind of falling flat. Abed does get to finish up his Ags now. Gonna be flying out soon. You're gonna have to contend with AoE silence as well. And we are still waiting for MG.Trust to finish up that Satanic and Savage. That's the closest thing we have. Going for that status resist on the Satanic. Might not be enough to tank through. We'll see when it does come out. You are also looking for the Silver Edge here on Death, which is still a ways off. So the item progression has stalled out compared to Team Dog. They are really starting to pull ahead here with their Spectre. Abyssal for In Your Dream is just about done. 700 gold away from the recipe. That's just going to be such a huge spike for the Spectre. Also almost at the level 25 talent as well. So you're going to have to contend with more Dispersion or more Haunt Illusion damage down the line. And In Your Dream has basically been unchecked. He's 9-1. Besides that one laning that, he's been fine.
Yeah, and he's going to have that Abyssal Blade up very, very soon. Hangman is that much worse. Oh, Boombill tries to go for a hook shot, is going to miss, and now Death is going to be targeted. They want the CK dead first. He's trying to survive through this, but Ice has so much control. They are going to take down the CK. 14 now. They're actually going after. Ice has found the rest, but they are going to get out of there, and meanwhile, Boombill got left behind. Into the Roshan they go. I believe that's the second Roshan of the game. It is definitely going to go the way of Team Dog.
Yeah, there's no contest here. No Phantasm for a bit. No Clockwork to help them. Just going to be a nice Roche coming out here for the side of Team Dog. And now another second life coming out for IYD. Abyssal Blade flying out now as well. So that's all done. He's going to be so tanky in front. Level 25. Very close. Just about 200 EXP off. So you're going to have to contend with that spike as well on the Spectre. MG.Trust, they're not too far behind on paper. 5k behind in net worth. But this is really starting to fall into what Team Dog wanted. You talked about the late game timing earlier. 30 minutes have passed. It's only going to get worse past this point. Savage is not big enough to face off against what's lined up from In Your Dream. The Silver Edge is constantly delayed out from Death, and there's only so much you can expect Fearless to do on an Underlord. Like, he has held out, he's still farming great, but this is not the kind of hero Fearless really styles on. Beyond just lane domineering and dominance, it's not something he can make some plays with. And all you can hope for is for him to stall the game out long enough that Savage gets some more catch-up for him.
Bot tier 2 gonna drop fairly quick.
Radiant's bottom tower. Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
Rod of Atos out. It looks like it was onto the Spectre. Mid lane, Arbed gonna make a jump in onto Boom Bell. Get used up, Ice. Let's have the Rolling Thunder if he wants. Still Boom Bell surviving, but eventually In Your Dream will come in. Does get the killer now, Arbed trying to go for more. Does catch out Fearless. Ice, not gonna commit the Rolling Thunder. Doesn't really want to dive the tier 3 tower yet. All Savage trying to force out the top tier 3. Eventually is going to TP back.
Oh,
No,
Abyssal.
In Your Dream comes in with the Abyssal Blade. And the Laguna is there and they do catch him. Now back onto the CK. In Your Dream feeling very confident. Arbed will be there to back him up. The Remnant is going to catch him. Death is also going to die. What a play out from In Your Dream.
Just revealing that Abyssal in the biggest way possible. Reminding Savage that he can't overextend like that while Haunt is up. And Savage now again gets the Satanic up. Satanic up, that means he has no buyback. It is fairly short respawn still. And there are still some tier 2 towers for Team Dog to go through. But they've widened the lead very much heavily in their favor. 8k up, 26 to 33. And all you can hope for is Fearless to just keep doing this. Throwing out the pits, throwing out the Firestorm to clear out the creep waves. The towers will still fall. You still have to contend with the Aegis on In Your Dream. He has it for a full about 2 minutes more. So he's just going to be confident into that high ground.
They will go. Oh, Abyssal comes back out again. Fearless in big trouble. The Rolling Thunder's going to come through and they do get another kill. Looking for more. Cogs, Boom Bell, going to be alright. In fact, no, he's not. He gets stunned up. Arbed's going to jump in straight after him. The Clockwork's gone. Now they can commit for this tier 3 tower. Buybacks will be expended. Savage going to respawn very soon, and that'll be enough for the side of Team Dog. Be happy to back out. I mean, plus In Your Dream is so close to buying a full butterfly out, he may as well just go finish that off.
Yeah, no rush here for Team Dog. 13k lead. They are just getting bigger and bigger as this game goes on. Abed now second in that fort, overtaking 23 Savage. So they are really starting to work this map a lot more. Space is getting limited for BT.Trust to find that escalation in terms of farm. And you look at that win probability from Dota Plus, Mike. There was a big crash. This was really BT.Trust's game early on while they were farming up, while they were finding those early kills. But now, 81% the way of Team Dog. And that's just set to get worse. In Your Dream, the butterfly you mentioned, 200 gold off. Once you have that, the physical hits are not going to do it. The illusions are just going to be stopped from death. They do smoke up for a bit here on the side of BT.Trust, but they're not really able to get anything done beyond a couple of wards being dropped. And have to just farm together as a team now and try to ride out this rough spot. Hope that Savage can farm big enough and hope that the Silver Edge comes out at some point.
Find out. There's a butterfly now. I mean, you got the Shadow Blade up on Death. He's very close to having the full Silver Edge, but in all honesty, I'm not really sure if that's going to make a hell of a lot of difference. Definitely going to help a bit, but got everyone else to worry about as well. Just too many things to be concerned about here if you are Motivate.Trust. Smoke up, trying to use In Your Dream as bait, but nobody on Motivate is really falling for it. Now just sitting back and waiting Team Dog to come to them. Savage does not want to get caught out right now. Afu almost catches him with a Light Strike Array, but not quite there. Looks like Team Dog, they're just going to try and dominate the map. Tier 4 items are up anyway, so they may as well just go ahead and farm those. Motivate.Trust, they will venture outside their base to try and get a couple themselves. They need to be a bit quick here.
It's not on their side quite yet, that luck on the drops. They do have the leveler. At the least, they also managed to pick up a Princess Knife along with a Ninja Gear. So all filled up in the tier 4s. We'll see if that is going to make enough of a difference. Team Dog still have a 14k lead. MG Trust. This is the point as well where this Guy Rat really drops off. There's just not much damage coming out anymore from Q. There is a little bit more magic resist flying out here from the side of MG Trust. And of course, Q's just super squishy, so has to watch that positioning. You do see an Octarine finished up from Ice. Lower cooldowns overall, going to be more annoying to deal with a Pango. But you have that Silver Edge up on Det. If he can catch in your dream, he's not going to be that tanky. They could find themselves an opportunity to find the biggest target on the map if he could find the opening. It's going to be really hard to catch in your dream out. He's been very conservative in this match. But that's really MG Trust's one big hope.
Mid lane, Fearless. Gonna show himself for a second, just throwing out the Firestorm. Savage has a Divine Rapier queued up after quite a few items. I mean, it's one of those games, you may as well. But still both teams kind of respecting each other's potential here.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Nobody wants to make the first move though. They are going to just kind of wait it out, see if the other will make a mistake first. They aren't though.
Yeah. Patience here. Next rush is going to be up in half a minute. Looks like Team Dog is going to be set up to take that as they are clearing that top tier 2. No outer towers left for MG Trust.
Tower is
And they also don't have vision on the map. It's all under the control of Team Dog. So you've got to be cautious as they are just basically stuck in their high ground now. Not many options to farm. And the lead just constantly grows wider. 18k now for the side of Team Dog as they've just got free reign. Could just go for that Roche. Is going to spawn up. They've got the courier to watch. Ice right on point. Should know it's up.
I guess that's the play, right? Go for that Roshan. The Aghanim Scepter Blessing is going to be on it as well. That's, who do you even give it to? Like, do you want to give it to the Spectre for that Shadow Step? Seems unnecessary, but at the same time, you wouldn't really mind it too much.
Yeah, I'd say Ice could also enjoy it with the Shield Crash Swashbuckle coming in. Could be a nice amount of DPS as well. They do have the Clockwork Flares coming out, so they know when the rush is happening. The issue is, can they make something happen with the info? They're going to have to try to walk up there, and it's going to be a tricky fight.
They're going to try and go after Boombell. Ice going to jump over the cliff, straight into the cogs as well. Gets a hammer off, puts him on the cliff. They don't have what it takes to get him right now, though. They're trying. Laguna comes through onto Savage. There's Boombell going down. And they'll feel much safer now going after that Roshan without the Clockwork. That is exactly what they'll do. Straight back for the Roshan. I don't believe Motivate can really allow this to go down, but they don't really seem to have much of a choice in the matter. They're just going to have to let it go.
Yeah, it's going to be hard to find the angle, so they're going to have to deal with the Aegis, the Cheese, and the Ag's Blessing coming through now. It does go to In Your Dream, so it is the Shadow Step, which is still a scary prospect. Like, this is one consistent way to punish split push out from the Spectre. We saw it once with a Haunt, but with a Shadow Step, that's a lower cooldown on a single target, and you only need one target to go to if you are just stopping a split push. So it's a really good upgrade for In Your Dream. Second Life is really nice to have as well. And now the game just got that much harder for MG Trust as the lead widens to 25k. Take a look at Dota Plus. Has evened out at 86% the way of Team Dog. So a huge advantage, but a little bit of leeway left for MG Trust. Probably just a morphling effect, as that can do a ton in the late game as well. It's just that Savage is not nearly as farmed as In Your Dream. 23k net worth compared to 36k of IYD. Doesn't even compare.
Oh, it doesn't. Moonshot brought up now by In Your Dream. He's attacking a lot faster now. He does have the Ags up as well, so the shadow step is there. But we are still at that stage where they don't want to go high ground without finding a kill. Motivate.Trust don't want to go below high ground without without finding a kill themselves. There's the shadow step. They found one. It's going to be Boombill. He does have buyback. Savage going to sneak around for a bounty. Like Ice might kind of get the gist that he was around somewhere there. They aren't really going to try and force the buyback out from Boombill. They're just going to leave it be for now.
Yeah, just again playing it safe here on the side of Team Dog. Maybe a bit too safe. Not like they have anything to lose by playing the farm game, I suppose. So no issues here. You are seeing Savage looking for maybe cracking creeps. He is still smoked up, just farming as safe as he can. But Team Dog is slowly clumping down mid. Now this is where the high ground of MG.Trust really shines. Fearless just presses Q, and the push stops for a moment. That's just the power of the Underlord in the late game. Not much you can really do, Team Dog, unless they want to pile their bodies up and force that Fearless.
Fu once again getting a great 4-star play off, and Fearless is going to die. He can buy back. He will hold out for now, but In Your Dream is pretty in deep. Trying to get more. We'll find a double. And that's the second time Fu has 4-star Fearless and got away with it. Meanwhile, Savage being caught out down at the bot lane. Arbit going to hold him down. He does have a waveform, but he doesn't have the mana for it. And he's also going to go down. All heroes having buyback. Even a repair kit to defend this tier 3 tower. But it seems though Team Dog is definitely going to be looking to just try and force these buybacks out right here, right now.
That should be the play of the game. They've got the Aegis for about a minute and a half more. More than enough time to take these objectives. While these heroes are down, a really long respawn on Savage and Fearless. So those are the ones that they can force out. And they're just going to go.
Once again, who are they jumping on the back lines? Looks like In Your Dream was trying for Q. Glimmer Cape will save him. The buybacks do come out. Team Dog, they're going to back off for now. They do still hold on to that Aegis. G's on Arbit. Another repair kit out, but In Your Dream, he does a lot of damage to the tower, so he will just completely ignore it. Fearless getting caught. Savage clearing out the creep wave, but now Arbit look to jump in. Ice come in as well. Havoc Hammer going to knock them back a little bit. Boombill may have just been caught with that Laguna. He should have buyback, and he does. He can use it straight away. Ahmed trying to force it out, but won't quite get it out. They do get the bot rats. They still have plenty of time to go for more. So Arfu will have his Aeon Disc proc. It's not really about Arfu, it's about In Your Dream here. This is the man they need to kill. Team Dog still hesitating a little bit.
They don't have much time left in the Aegis.
Oh,
good
no.
kill on the Courier, though.
That was the Hex. The full sight device on Fearless is now gone.
Ooh, that's going to be costly. That's one big piece of control they're going to be missing out on. Still no Aegis on IYD, so they have a moment of vulnerability here if they want to commit on this defense.
It's really hard, though. Like, In Your Dreams got the cheese up as well. They're going to go in with the Rolling Thunder. Ice looking to get this started. Who are they going to aim for, though? Well, they don't really find anyone, so they're back into the racks. Ice still going with this Rolling Thunder back into Savage, dodging out the hook shot as well from the Clockwork. That'll be enough. Two lanes of racks have been taken out. Have to go back and defend a little bit. They do have a 40k net worth advantage for Team Dog. With that, I mean, there's only one lane left.
Yeah. They are really playing defensive, though. I'm just kind of flabbergasted as how much respect they're giving here to MG.Trust, I guess there's always an opportunity to bounce back in, but you'd reckon with 40k up, 2 Raxes, or at least 1 full Rax, 2 melee racks up, you'd be fairly comfy in forcing something out. They still hold a cheese as well, so really good spot. They do smoke up here on Team Dog. They can't just drag In Your Dream in with a haunt.
I didn't realize In Your Dream was literally at 42k net worth. Shadow Step, or rather just Haunt, going to be expended. But they have found Savage, and Savage is going to go down. The Bloodthorn out from the Spectre going to be enough, and that was a dieback. Onto Death they go. They'll find the CK. This should pretty much spell the end of the game. How do you defend without this Morphling? Death's going to buy it back. They're going to give it a shot. Fearless is copying a lot of damage. The Reality Rift is going to be there, but it's just nowhere near enough damage. Death will go down a second time. That'll be it. In Your Dream running into the fountain, just having a bit of a shower for himself. They do call the GG well played. That'll be a tied series between Motivate.Trust and Team Dog.
Yeah, really explosive last game for both sides. That is the closer for groups as well. Good showing from Team Dog, correcting their issues from game 1. MG.Trust, they went back to that Savage special in the Morphling, but they went with something that could have been active in Death's CK, but it wasn't something that provided in team fight. Fearless as well was winning out in this lane fairly nicely. It's just when it comes down towards the end, your Underlord doesn't do as much for you. It's really just a walking aura. Maybe you can get some damage out, but it couldn't open up enough opportunities for MG.Trust to come back in, and Team Dog do just overtake. In Your Dream, given all the space in the world on the map to grow big, does secure Team Dog the last win in the last match for groups.
Well, with that, John, of course, that is going to be it for us tonight. I believe we are going to have a one-day break before we do start the playoffs, so everyone enjoy the break while we can. And let's hope the patch does come out tomorrow as well. That'd be a lot of fun. You know, I'm one for chaos, John. I reckon we just jump into a new patch while the playoffs have started.
Oh, yeah.
Who the hell cares? All the players want the exact same thing anyway. And that should make it a lot more fun. Still with that, it is MLP Dota and it is John X Fire. It's been a pleasure. We'll see you after a day break for those playoffs. But tonight, we'll see you later.